Following a pair of 1-0 wins over Indiana and Purdue over the weekend, the women's soccer team returns home for a pair of conference games this week. Badgers host Ohio State on Friday at 7 p.m. and take on Penn State on Sunday at noon at the McClimon Soccer Complex. Head coach Paula Wilkins is here. We'll have some opening comments, then take questions.
It's a great time of the year. We're getting through the middle of the thick of the Big Ten season. Really happy to get 2 wins against Indiana and Purdue. It's always been a challenging place for us to play. And also what's very exciting is that we had goals scored from different people. We're getting different scoring opportunities by other people on the team, with McKenna Moyer and Molly Laufenberg this weekend. It was also great to get Cara Walls back on the field against Purdue. So especially since we're getting through the thick of the Big Ten season, I think it's important to get her back in and played in and healthy again. So I'm excited about that. And one thing I'd really like to say in this press conference is I thought that Purdue was a very class act. One of our players, Alexis Ty's mother, is dealing with some health issues, and we have a D-Strong going on right now to send her some positive energy, and they did something before the game which was really classy, and I like to thank Purdue's soccer team for doing that. I thought that was really important because no matter we batter on the field, off the field, we are still supportive of each other in the soccer community, so I'd like to thank Purdue for that.
Paul, there's been a lot of success this season with the team. Have you found that you've had any issues keeping the group focused, or has it been the leadership's helped keep the group together so far?
I thought on Friday we took a little step back for what we were trying to do, and I think I used the analogy that, when you set up in January, you want to lose weight, you're into all the details are working, you go to the gym every day, your diet's great, and then about a month into it, you're starting to cheat a little bit more, and we just talked about on Sunday we had to come back to doing the details right, and we can't cheat on our diet. So I thought they did a much better job on Sunday, and again, we're going to take another step on Friday against Ohio State. It's going to be great to be home. This is a physical stretch for us. We play Ohio State on Friday, Penn State on Sunday, and again, Iowa, who's a good team, on Wednesday. So we've really talked about having to do all those things right to be successful in these 3 games, and these are pivotal games for us in the Big Ten.
Genevieve Richard, your goalkeeper, was named Big Ten Co-Defensive Player of the Week last week. What's been working for her this season? She's already got 6 shutouts, 10-1 on the year.
The great thing about Jen is that her experience. I think when you have an experienced goalkeeper, she makes some of the hard things look simple. I think her communication with the back 4 is great. So it makes all the little things that sometimes younger goalkeepers make mistakes on, she makes simple. Like there's back passes that are taken care of to eliminate some of the problems with the other team. The other part is I think you have to get a lot of credit to the back 4. We talked about when one of our players is named either offensive or defensive player that they all deserve that award, because if they don't do little things like clearing a ball off a line that no one sees, Jen doesn't get that award. So it's been really a team effort defensively. They've bought into what we've asked them to do, and hopefully they'll continue in that way.
Brian?
What does it mean getting Cara back? What does she bring to this club?
What she brings on the field is she's able to hold balls up, and she was on a scoring streak before, so I think it's still going to be a couple games till she's played back into where she is. But I think anytime you have a senior on the field that can score goals, it gives confidence to the people around her. She holds possession of the ball better than any player we have right now, and that takes away from no other player on the team, but it's just something that she's been able to develop over the past couple years, and it allows us to hold possession higher up to allow Cody and Kinley and Rose to join the attack. So excited about getting her back in there, but she just adds a different dimension to the field, and I'm excited as a coach. I think anytime you get to see that player who scored 7 goals in her first 7 games come back, it's a fun time.
Rob?
Well, I'm sure you've to some degree moved past the the history with Penn State with you, but still every time they come up on the schedule, it seems to be a big game, and record-wise, it would appear that's again the case. What are you looking for as far as that being a measuring stick at this point in the season for your team this year?
I always think that's a trap question for a coach, because Ohio State's very important. Ohio State's actually beat Duke this year, who's a very good team. So we're definitely going to focus on that. From my personal perspective, the Big Ten championship can't be won if we don't take care of Friday. So that'll be our first focus for sure. But I think it'll also be a good test. I think every time you play a good team like Ohio State or Penn State, it shows you what your team needs to work on or what they're good at. And I think every time we come out of one of these games, whether we're playing Indiana, Purdue, we have to sit back and go, okay, what do we need to get better? Because it's not always about that game, but also 2 games a way that we need to get better at. So that's going to be our focus. For me, it's just focusing on Friday, and then on Sunday or Saturday morning, we'll start talking about Penn State.
Andy?
Last couple of times you've been in here, you've talked about some difficult losses, last-second losses. You've talked about 1-0 wins. Does it make you appreciate the smallness of the margin for error that this league has? Is it unique this year?
It's really unique this year. Nebraska beat Maryland in double overtime yesterday. I think that Illinois lost to Penn State 2-1. Minnesota beat Indiana in double overtime. So it really can go either way. If I'm being honest, Purdue had some good chances in the game that it could have fallen either way for us. So we've talked to the players about how important it is to talk about little details and how that's going to be. We talk about being desperate, disciplined, but desperate when they need to be. And I think that's something that this group has really kind of grasped hold of because of the losses last year. And also the loss this year to Michigan. We thought that was just a detail that we didn't take care of. And that's how minute the differences are in wins and losses in the Big Ten right now.
Brian?
And Paul, I was going to ask you about last year because you were in a similar situation. So that's something they can draw from, learn from, right?
Yeah, we talked about it all last spring, and it's been great to see the leadership kind of step up in that way, talking about being resilient in certain circumstances, that if you go down a goal that you don't think negative thoughts, that you think positive thoughts. And there's a different belief with these guys right now, which is pretty amazing. We were just talking about it. They said Michigan won against Michigan State in the last 30 seconds, and they beat us in the last second. After a while, you start to build a certain belief that you're going to be okay in what you do. And I think when you're on the opposite side of it, like last year, you start to have a belief that you're not going to do it. So we've just talked about we've got to keep that frame of mind and win the moments in the game that we need to. And that's what soccer really is the moments.
You've been here for a few years now. What's the biggest difference from the last few years to this year getting off to one of the best starts in program history?
Having good senior leadership. I think that's one. And actually, that's a mistake in my part. It's not just senior leadership. I believe that a lot of other players have stepped up in different roles to do things. We've asked some players to play different roles on the team, and they've bought into that right away. I think having a experienced back line helps because we're not giving up as many goals. But also having the ability to have different people score, having McKenna Moyer, Kara, Cody, Marissa Kresge, all these guys adding goals, it makes our team more multi-dimensional than it has been in the past.
Anything else for Paula? All right. Thanks, Paula.
Have a good day, guys.